I was going to say good morning, but I don't know if it's morning when you're watching this. Good morning for me. It is morning as I am watching this. I wanted to take a second and go over the syllabus with you guys. This is one of those first day of school things that might be a little frustrating, a little annoying, because I don't need to read this to you for you to understand it, I hope. But I did want to go over it with you, especially considering this is going to be a strange start to the semester compared to what we're used to. So I do have the syllabus linked, I think, as a PDF in Schoology. So if you want to pull that up on your end or print it or just watch on the screen as I discuss it, that's fine too, whatever you prefer. I do have all my contact information at the top. I do have a classroom Twitter if you're interested in following that. I will try to keep that updated even as we're not going to be meeting in person at the start of this fall. You can see our mission statement. The main point, obviously, of this AP class is to get you guys ready for the AP Environmental Science or APES exam, which will be on May 14th in the spring. That is going to be a challenge that we'll have to face as you guys are in the fall semester. So obviously that will give us a little bit of a gap between when you finish this class and when that exam is. So something to keep in mind. You'll notice that I did put at the top of Schoology, I made this note that said something along the lines of you're going to get out of this course what you put into it. So that continues to be true, and I'm probably going to continue to remind you guys of that, that as much effort as you want to give to this course, you will receive the payout for that effort. So just keep that in mind as we go along. You see there is a textbook listed. I will be using a few resources from that textbook while we're virtual, but since obviously you guys aren't here in person and I don't want to go through having to check out all the textbooks to y'all, and most of it I can find virtually anyway, we're not really going to worry about that too much until you guys come in person. Some of the themes that we'll be covering here in this course are going to be things like science being a process. The biggest one probably is number 4, that humans alter natural systems. This class is pretty heavily that one, and 4 through 7, honestly. The idea that humans alter the environment and that we are currently facing a lot of the consequences of humans altering that environment. Climate change occurring because of human activity, things of that nature. Climate change is going to be a very central focus of this course based on the Alabama state standards. So that's something to keep in mind. I will have a lab safety contract for you guys. That's not something I'm going to worry about right now because any labs that we do at the start of this year will be me doing them in the science lab here and videoing it for you guys. So we won't really need to worry about that right now. Oh, wrong mouse. Let's see, classroom rules and expectations. My number 1 always, and you might think this sounds silly or naive, but we're going to be nice to each other all the time. It's a novel concept, I know, but I do expect, obviously, that everyone is going to be kind to each other all the time. This is true when we are in the classroom, like a normal school year, but I think it's especially true right now. You'll notice in a lot of the posts that I've made about, as we've began the introduction to this course, I've talked about how we need to give grace to each other and to our teachers and to ourselves, and this is a big part of that. For a lot of people, coming to school might be one of the highlights of their day. Others, that might not be true. That's fine either way. Just keep that in mind that we're all missing something that's really important to us right now. For me, I love having a classroom full of students, and right now I don't have that. So just remembering to treat each other with kindness and try to see that this is kind of a tough time for a lot of us. Keep that in mind. Obviously, being seated, working on your bell ringer by the time the tardy bell rings, that one is not going to apply right now, but it's something to keep in mind for when we do come back to school. The only ones, 4 and 5 do definitely apply to you guys. Whether we're virtual or not, I want to make sure that you come prepared. So if you look at the virtual learning expectations slideshow, I have to sneeze. Excuse me. If you look at the virtual learning expectations slideshow, It mentions doing things like making sure you're in a quiet area, making sure your computer is charged, not eating on camera, making sure you're dressed in school appropriate clothing, things like that. So that does fall into that number 4, coming prepared and ready to succeed. Number 5, making sure you're ready to participate. Obviously, participation in class activities is going to look very different virtually than it would normally throughout the school year. And be ready to expand the way you think. We talk a lot about big issues. We talk climate change and politics and all kinds of wild things that affect our environment. So come in with an open mind. Ask for that. My discipline procedures, obviously these will be a little bit edited based on being virtual, but step 1 for me is always just talking to you guys. So if something's going on and we have an issue in class, my first step is always going to be to talk to you guys and say, hey, what's going on? Let's talk about it. Either if I pull you to my desk or talk out in the hallway, or in this case, shoot you an email that says, hey, today in class this happened and we need to work on making sure it doesn't happen again. 2 and 3 are both parent contact, with the first one being like, hey, your kid's getting a little, we need to talk about some things. And the second one, or the second parent contact, being along the lines of, okay, I really want the situation to resolve itself. I don't want to write up the student, but we're still having this issue. And then the 4th discipline procedure is an office referral. But I know you're all going to be perfect little angels, and we won't even have to worry about that. Restroom breaks, obviously, not applicable. You're going to be at your house. Go to the bathroom when you want. Like the rest of the school here at Bob Jones, tests are 70% of your grade, and daily grades are 30%. So the late policy will be the same, online or in person. You've got 3 days to make up your work if it is an excused absence. And then I will also let you make up work even if it was an unexcused absence, up to 70% credit of the original assignment. We require materials. We are going to do a lab notebook this year. That, again, it might be a little bit delayed. That might be something that we don't start, obviously, until you guys come back. So for virtual, honestly, I want to try to be as paperless as I can. So hopefully the goal is that you won't really need many supplies at all for virtual. There are some optional materials. Obviously, we don't need any of those right now because I am in this classroom by myself at the moment. Personal technology. Keep things focused. That's as concise as I can put that. I want to make sure that you guys are focused on what needs to be the center of attention at any given moment. Obviously I can't control what you're doing because you're far away and in front of your computers, but if you're sitting there on your phone texting while we're doing a virtual lesson or, whatever it might be, that falls back under that category of you're going to get out of this class what you put into it. And I want you to put a lot into this class because I want you to get a lot out of this class. So just something to keep in mind. It's a respect thing. I am, always attached to my phone as well. If I could sit here on TikTok all day, I would do it. But I like having a job and making money and teaching students things. So I'm not on it all day. Just a matter of respect and putting effort into your courses. Assessments. So assessments in here are going to be based on the AP exam. That will be harder. Again, I'm going to keep saying this, but that will be harder with virtual because when you're in the classroom, I try to model the unit tests after the AP exam so that by the time you get to the AP exam, you're like, oh, I can knock out an FRQ in less time than necessary. So I'll be doing similar questions, and I will be assigning FRQs to you guys virtually, but that'll be something that will definitely be probably a little bit more rigorous once we're in person because you will have more time constraints and things like that once we're on the bell schedule and we're here in the classroom. Classwork, homework. Oh, math skills. I'm so sorry. Don't get mad at me. Some math skills are kind of important in this course, unfortunately. It's mostly in regard to like population ecology and population dynamics and things like that. We'll get there and we'll get through it together. I'm not a math gal, but I promise the math in here is mostly calculator based, and you can use a calculator on the AP exam, so it's nothing to panic about just yet. There will be readings that get assigned. Like I said, since we are virtual, I will probably, well, I'm not going to worry about giving you a textbook right now. So those readings are going to be coming in the form of case studies, articles, things like that. But honestly, just spending 10 or 15 minutes every evening, whether I assigned homework or not, just kind of reviewing what we've talked about recently is really all you need. This is not an incredibly difficult AP course. But just that consistency and spending a little bit of time with the content every day will be very, very helpful. We are going to do a lab/field experience notebook. Again, it's virtual, so I don't know what that's going to entail at the moment, but I know what that'll look like when you get back. So we'll just kind of put a pin in that one for now. We will be doing labs in here. All of these labs that I've listed in this table are the ones that are supposed to be done during the first unit. So unfortunately, these are ones that I'm not sure we're going to get to complete. I might do some of these in the lab here at the high school and then video them to show to you guys to kind of prove a couple points about some of our main learning targets for the first unit, but we will see. I will also add that with AP courses, there are a lot of things that I'm required to add into my syllabus for the AP College Board. So it is a hefty syllabus, I'm sorry. We are required to add in all of the legislation that we're going to cover this semester. That's going to be Clean Air Act, Clean Water Act, obviously, the more obvious environmental legislation. You've got the 9 units that we'll be covering. Those are there listed. So the rest of this, they call them science practices. So it's basically different science-rooted skills that they want you guys to have before you leave this course. And so what I needed to do for the AP board was give examples of activities that I do in class that meet each of those, what are they, 8, 7 science practices. So you've got all of these here. They all include activities that I love doing in class. Some of them we will definitely get to this semester. Some of them we will not because COVID. But other than that, that is what to expect for this semester.